There's no way he dooms this guy without Octarine Core. It's as simple as that, right? This blink is very clean. No way! Like, that is not in regular Doomcast range.
That's quite big.
I know that for a fact. Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here, and my God! This is a crazy game we got here, boys. We're checking out a little bit of 33 Doom. This is a wild game. This is a wild game in particular because if I pull up the item build here from 33 on his Doom, you're gonna notice that there isn't a BKB until minute 24 is really not that late. But what you're gonna see before the BKB is he rushes a Vanguard. Nothing too crazy, but it's not really what you see on Doom nowadays. You tend to see phase boots into drums, or phase boots into Midas, or brown boots into Midas. Typically it's some sort of Midas rush, right? But he actually decides to go Vanguard. After Vanguard, he goes Mana Boots, kind of helps against the Anti-Mage. And then from there, he goes Midas. Then after Midas, he actually is going to disassemble the Mana Boots and disassemble the Vanguard, right? So you get double value out of these items because the Vanguard is just good in the lane. It helps you not get kicked out, which actually is super, super important this game, and you'll see that. And then the Mana Boots, it's just mana. Your hero needs mana, especially when you're getting mana burned by Anti-Mage. And so he can disassemble the Arcane Boots, he can disassemble the Vanguard, because you need Vit Booster for Octarine Core, and later when you disassemble the Vanguard, you have Ring of Health, and that builds into eventually Refresher. So this build is actually just super legit in my opinion. It takes a little bit of time to come online, I'm not gonna lie, but you can tell he's 1 and 2 this game. This is not some heavy dominant Doom game. The Anti-Mage he's against in lane is 5 and 1 and nearly has the same net worth as him, considering he's a Midas Doom. But either way, he ends up going on to giga carry the game. You'll see when he's 19k net worth, the Anti-Mage just can't keep up. I mean, look at the item difference here, right? And so this build, this Midas and Octarine, just makes you snowball out of control. He went bots. He actually had BKB queued up here, so he wasn't going to go full greed, but decided to. And then he even went giga full greed and bought a blink before the BKB. So nonetheless, let's hop into it and learn how to play Doom at a wild GPM level. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the gameleap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much, much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the gameleap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. Alright, so at level 1, you're typically going to take Scorched Earth, and you might be tempted to take Devour, because you're like, this is the greedy build, I'm going to do everything I can to get more gold. But actually, Devour level 1, because of the fact that you're not going to get any, like, ability out of it, just isn't that good. It does give you 1 armor, which is actually not that useful on Doom, your hero already has 5 armor. Really, Scorched Earth is just too good of an ability. 9% movement speed is a bigger deal than you think, it prevents you from getting auto-attacked a lot. It's only 60 mana, which is literally nothing. It does 200 damage over the course of the spell, which really helps you push in the creep wave and makes it very hard for the enemy to trade with you. And we're actually going to see that play out in the first creep wave, right? So immediately the Anti-Mage, I mean, this is just a great call from 33. You can tell this guy is one of the goats, but he knows that if Anti-Mage skills Mana Burn, of course he can't blink, and he's laning with Tusk, which is one of the best First Blood heroes in the game against heroes that cannot disengage, right? If you can't get away from the tag team, well, you actually feed. And so that's exactly what happens. The Anti-Mage goes on him. He's very quick with the Scorched Earth to bait the Anti-Mage in a little bit, and then, yeah, calls for the tag team, and he just mans up, right? It costs him all of his mana and a ton of health, but he gets First Blood, which is super worth it. From there, he ends up going down, but he's going to pick up Devour level 2, and at this point, this lane is actually kind of over. And what I mean by that is he can't ever pressure Anti-Mage with Tusk. Now that Anti-Mage has Blink, the lane is done. And so his gameplay goes from, well, I guess looking to kill Anti-Mage at level 1, at least after the bait, to just pulling a ton of creep aggro and playing passive. And that tends to be what Doom is. You can get pretty aggressive on Doom if you decide to go 2 points Scorched Earth and 1 point Infernal Blade, which some people actually do at level 3. You actually do a disgusting amount of damage, but this is typically not how 33 likes to play. He prefers to take Devour and really play for farm. And so because of the fact that his lane was really, really hard and Scorched Earth just doesn't really do anything to a Ring of Health Anti-Mage, he decides to take Devour at level 3. However, in most games, I don't actually recommend you guys do this. Devour at level 3 is very risky because Scorched Earth scales incredibly well. You get more movement speed and the duration goes up, which is really big, but most importantly, the damage nearly doubles, making it very hard for anyone to fight you during the duration, typically allowing you to farm an entire creep wave uncontested. And that's the benefit, general benefit of the second point of Scorched Earth. So most of the time, most games take Scorched Earth at level 3 and use it to pressure a little bit, use it to secure the lane a little bit. But I think he just kind of felt that there's no way I pressure this AM. Like, at all. You know what I mean? There's no pressure opportunity. So why am I even going to skill Scorched Earth? You know, he doesn't even have mana to truly use it. So it's, yeah, it's definitely a good game to take Devour at level 3. And from there, with some pretty good creep aggro, some good last hitting, and his first blood, he's able to get a 5-minute Vanguard. And that's obviously a very, very early timing, you know, especially considering he did end up going down in this lane. So it goes to show that this hero just really is able to chill, and now there's nothing Animage can do to pressure him, right? Once the Vanguard comes out, most safe laners don't do any damage to you, and that's all you need because you can just farm it up for the next 10 minutes. So one other thing that he did this lane, which was a bit risky, was he actually went for a kill on the AM. The AM dropped a little bit low due to some trading they did before he got the mana boots, and he was able to get mana boots here at minute 730. At minute 730, he pops the mana boots, and he gets just enough mana for Scorched Earth and Doom and looks for a kill. And this is exactly what you want to do as well. I don't recommend maxing Devour. I think Scorched Earth is just too good at cutting creep waves and farming the creep wave with a neutral camp, or dragging two neutral camps together and farming them at the same time. It's just too good. It's good at looking for kill opportunities at level 6, if you see it, which he clearly did here, as he goes for it, right? Just enough mana to make the play. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out. He got blocked a bit by the creeps, and Wyvern was in position, so this super did not work out. I mean, it helped him get his mana pool back, which is good, but yeah, it didn't work out. Now, eventually, Doom becomes a pretty straightforward hero, but let's talk a little bit about the nuance of amplifying your farm and really hitting the best timings possible. First, he picks up a Windlace. I really like Windlace in general. It also works technically very well with Scorched Earth because of the percentage-based movement speed. You're not really getting that much out of it, but it's something to keep in mind, right? Having a lot of movement speed allows you to farm without getting ganked. It also allows you to move from camp to camp, wave to wave, camp to wave, whatever, and just farm faster. It also allows you to chase people with Scorched Earth and, of course, Doom. So movement speed is good. From there, he's going to pick up his Midas, and really the main thing he's going to do to amplify his farm is max Scorched Earth and then drag the wave. You can see he, even because he has Vanguard, can comfortably tank the tower, then drag the wave towards a camp and farm them at the same time, and that's really nice efficiency. And he's gonna do this over and over again, right? Drag the wave, which he unfortunately super messed up here. I think he was actually planning on dragging it to his large camp in the triangle, because if he dragged it, right, let's see, he actually connected the wave there like he was trying to. I think what he was going to do is farm the large camp and then stack the Ancients, because he'll actually end up farming Ancients in a bit from now. And as I was mentioning, he is going to farm Ancients now. He picks up his Midas, and I think he partially just wanted to get a creep to Midas, but obviously there's camps to his south, so why didn't he just go there? I think really what 33 is great at is just awareness, even if his game plan is to be as efficient as possible. I think he just kind of understands that, hey, running down here is really risky. You don't see the Huskarl, you don't see the Animage, you don't see the Wyvern. It's very hard to feel very comfortable at this point in the game. They also have quite a bit of setup, right? The Astral Imprisonment or the Winter's Curse allows for any TP to come in, and, you know, in that case, it's pretty likely he'll die to a gank. It's definitely not a game where Vanguard makes you invincible, right? They have OD and they have Huskarl, and so he has to play a little bit careful. He's going to use the Scorched Earth to farm Ancients here. It's honestly extremely inefficient, so this is not something you should do, like, out of efficiency. He will end up stacking the camp here, and that's good, but best case scenario, you go back to the lane, and that is what he's going to do. He stacks the camp, and then eventually when Wyvern pushes it in, he will walk back to the lane, then drag the lane to the large camp, and continue to be efficient that way. Now eventually, by farming the lane and farming the Ancients, he's actually going to complete his Octarine Core in just a moment. With just a point booster, the item is completed. You do actually need 2 energy boosters for Octarine Core, so it's okay not to disassemble mana boots into Aether Lens for this build. You can just leave it alone. And yeah, you might be asking, okay, Speed, I get the point, right? I've farmed my Octarine Core, I've gotten my Midas, now I begin to fight, right?
Yeah, boy.
Joke's on you, kid. This is where you queue up the Radiance. Oh yeah, you're definitely actually not queuing up Radiance, but you are looking to continue to farm. I guess his Ancient camps got blocked or something, and so yeah, he actually just farms Dire Jungle. This is kind of a grief, and I don't recommend doing this in your average pub because realistically the bottom wave is probably farmable and more efficient, so you do not need to take, yeah, you can see he's drawing on the map, he's saying, my team, I can't go bottom, I don't have enough information. However, look what happens, they show top, and he's back to bottom, so eventually he'll be able to return home. Except that's actually a lie, so he ends up rotating over, and the nice thing about Doom is your hero, even with Octarine Core and Midas, still can have a lot of impact in, like, pick-off scenarios. Doom, just for starters, Doom is a hard Huskarl counter, because Huskarl relies on his ability and his armlet toggling to stay alive, right? It's as simple as that. The hero is extremely useless when he gets doomed. Some heroes are, like, okay when they get doomed, for instance, Medusa, Slark if he gets out of vision, you know what I mean, Sven if he got his ulti off, but Huskarl is just really bad, because Doom also silences you, so you also cannot use burning spears, and so your damage is just like horrendous as well. But yeah, he ends up getting lifted here because of the fact that he's a Doom counter and he has 2 stuns and he's level 13, which is actually quite a high level for the current point in the game, right? The enemy offlaner is actually only level 10. To be fair, the enemy offlaner is feeding, but yeah, either way, he's going to Doom up the Huskar here and end up taking him out. So yeah, I mean, this was not much of a bait. If anything, he got gone on and was just stronger, but yeah, easy. One thing that 33 is really good about is not getting baited into shit fights. I think this is a problem that plagues everyone way more than it should, but it's really hard not to get baited into fights because honestly, number one, maybe people just don't know how the fight's gonna go, but even if they do, even if you're confident like, oh, this is a bad fight, my team got jumped, we're getting picked off, this obviously doesn't look good, you'll show up anyway because you're kind of afraid of letting your team down, you know what I mean? You don't want them to get mad at you for not being there, but what 33 is really good about is just kind of identifying like, all right, it is what it is, and he doesn't walk over, right? He's just gonna instead hide in the trees, kind of wait for the AM to evacuate, and then look to get off his next Devour and his next Midas. In fact, he ends up TPing top here, so he goes a step further than that. He literally TPs. Wow, he really doesn't Midas that creep? Okay, I guess yeah, so he prioritizes levels, so he's Midasing the biggest creeps possible. I would imagine that is just for levels. And this version of Doom is very similar. This is how I want you guys to look at it. It's very similar to like old Enigma when Midas Enigma was very popular. However, it's kind of better in a lot of ways because you scale faster, I would say, right? And on top of that, the cooldown is lower when you have Octarine, right? The Doom cooldown with Octarine is, I think it's like 105, 106? 108, okay. So it's 108, much lower. I think it's like 80 something when you get the 35-second Doom cooldown at level 20, which is great. But yeah, you're looking for pickoffs in the side lane. With this build, you're just not that strong in team fights, okay? It's straight up that simple. Maybe if you get lucky and you don't get targeted, you'll be okay, but Doom has to go melee range to do anything, right? And as a result, you get targeted. So without BKB, you can't team fight that well. And that's why we haven't seen him team fight. It's 20 minutes in, he hasn't taken a team fight. I mean, he walked over to that one fight where he doomed the Huskar, but even then he was like playing the outside of the fight, waiting to just try to cheekily doom the Huskar, right? Even here, goes in. I don't know why animation didn't blink out here, but whatever, maybe he blinked in, and he finds the doom. And this is obviously great, right? He finds a quick little doom, gonna be able to pick up the animage, continue to push out the creep wave with the remainder of the Scorched Earth, and only here he's looking to fight because, okay, Animage is dead, Wyvern is dead, maybe he can look for a fight now, right? So he's just kind of checking, seeing what's going on. And one of the benefits of Octarine Core is that it gives you bonus cast range, which might not seem like a big deal, but honestly, with the Blink Dagger War Stomp, it's a massive deal. It truly is. On top of that, it's great with Doom as well, because it allows you to really get on top of the targets you want with Doom. Your Blink goes further, and the cast range of Doom is horrible, but with Octarine Core, it's really not that bad. And so this item is kind of even just good throughout the game. Like, yes, it's good because it gives you more Scorched Earth, more Infernal Blade, more War Stomps, more Blinks, but it's just good for the cast range as well. Like, this item just makes sense on Doom, which is why rushing is just not a bad idea. Like, even here, he's able to initiate from really far away, finds a 2-mana War Stomp that cleans up the Huskar and eventually the OD, and they win the fight. Now, from there, the enemy overextends. I have no idea what this OD is doing. But it's always good anytime you're playing these types of greedy builds to punish overextension, because if you don't, a lot of the time your team will just get run over, they'll get run at too much. So it's very good to still have that awareness, protect your teammates, and look to punish the dives. I think it's easy to get distracted in just only pushing in lanes when you have bots Midas Octarine Devour. Yeah, but from there, he's going to pick up his 23-minute BKB, which is standard, somewhat standard for regular Doom. Can't imagine it's standard for this type of Doom. He's having quite a good game now, but yeah, he's higher net worth than the Animage by 5,000 gold. 5,000 gold. That is an insane amount of gold as he goes into this team fight. This was a pretty wild team fight, but here immediately we see the Octarine Core cast range paying off. Even though this OD kill takes a bit, there's no way he dooms this guy without Octarine Core. It's as simple as that, right? This blink is very clean. No way! Like, that is not in regular Doom cast range. I know that for a fact. But eventually they'll chase on. Doom lasts a very, very long time. They'll set up with the stun, they find the OD, and they take him out. And from there, he actually picks up his shard. It's definitely a solid shard. It makes the base stun of your E 1.2 seconds. Your E is typically a 0.6 second stun, so it does just base increase the stun. If their level is a multiple of 3, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, or it's above level 24, they'll be stunned for 1.8 seconds and take 150 damage. So really, it's just like, I wouldn't say it's good every game, but honestly, 33 when he's having good games tends to buy it from what I see. It does, the extra stun duration is really nice, and it's super nice. If you get to the late game and everyone's like above level 25 or the cores are, you chain stun them because it's a 1.8 second stun, then you war stomp them for 2, and then you stun them again for another 1.8. Like, it's actually ridiculous. It's a 3-second cooldown. So you stun them for 1.8, then 2, that's 3.8. You literally chain stun them for like 5 seconds. It's actually kind of insane how this hero is just a chain stun hero late game, even outside of Doom. But eventually he's gonna buy an Axe. He had Refresher queued up, which I actually thought would be better. I will say the Axe is more of an anti-mage counter because, you know, you can't counterspell the Doom if Doom blinks in on you with a currently activated Doom on himself, then, you know, you're chilling. But the Refresher is really good against Odie, and it's really good against Huskar because he can just Doom both of them, but maybe he just felt like he had to deal with the anti-mage. Yeah, at this point in the game, he's just so damn strong. His Doom cooldown is extremely low, currently sitting at 82 seconds. By the way, he didn't skill Doom. He's taking stats over Doom. I don't really know if that's good. I guess it's okay, because like Doom scales extremely poorly. Like, it's more mana intensive, which is actually a problem for the hero sometimes. And it does not much more damage. I mean, yes, it lasts for 16 seconds, but I'm not sure if 4 all stats is better than 30 damage per second for 16 seconds. I feel like it's probably not, but at least the only argument I can kind of see is if you take stats with this build, it allows you to go Refresher because Refresher costs a lot of mana. But yeah, in this team fight here, he's gonna go in, finds the Wyvern. It's pretty okay to go on heroes like Wyvern because you can kind of solo kill them with the Shard. It's really easy to stick on top of them. Even with the Shard, right? It's still a chain stun because of the fact that Infernal Blade is 1.2, 1.2, plus the 2, then another 1.2, so you get 2 Infernal Blades off with the Scorch Earth going. It just allows you to reliably kill these supports, and you can see. Great Astral from the Odie to save the Wyvern, but ends up finding the Odie. Doesn't get greedy with the Doom here. I really thought he was going to prioritize AM or Huskar, not the really poor Odie, but yeah, just kind of dooms out the Odie, taking him out of the fight immediately, and yeah, I suppose he just kind of sees it as good enough, right? If Odie dies and Wyvern dies, like, it's unlikely AM and Huskar can carry the fight from there. And quickly, I just want you guys to see the chain stun with the Infernal Blade War Stomp. I'm gonna blink in, find the Rubik, and well, Rubik's not even a multiple of 3 here, so it's not even a 1.8 second stun, it's just 1.2, but right, 1.2, War Stomp, and then by the time the War Stomp is done, you actually have another Infernal Blade. So he didn't even do it perfectly here. He hesitated or waited a second, I don't know, one or the other, but yeah, it just ends up going on to the Rubik, and he dies as well. So it's pretty cool that you can chain stun for like 4 seconds. And alright, that's gonna be about all for today's video, as he's going to TP top. He was farming up bottom, being a little greedy boy. This is where the, honestly, not skilling Doom looks pretty good, because his mana pool is pretty garbage right now. So, actually, the 1 point in Doom really pays off, considering he also has stats, right, which helps out. But, yeah, team fight here, nothing crazy. His team was winning the fight anyway. They were 17k ahead. But, yeah, he's gonna go in, looks for the anti-mage. Does he Doom the Huskar here? Probably. Doom is so good against Huskar, I'm telling you. This matchup is it's so bad for Huskar, man. It's so bad. Because it's easy to Doom Huskar, too. It's not like Huskar wants to buy Lincolns. Even if you buy Lincolns, it's like, Huskar is never truly gonna burst Doom most of the time. Even with Ags, you're probably not. So, I don't know. It's like, I feel like this matchup's so unplayable. But, yeah, either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.